mentor in the financial world, a financial analyst, someone who is an advocate of financial literacy, how to make money, not just making money, saving money, but also make money work for you. He is a certified pharmacologist, someone who went to school, really went to school, read, and said, you know what, outside book, let me also give my people something that I've learned in my life, not just enjoying it by myself, but also educating other Nigerians. He's the CEO of Astra Fidelis, one of the leading financial company right now that is taking over Nigeria. Like I said, I'm with Feji Iyeke, aka Your Money Guy. Good afternoon to you, my guy.
Good afternoon to you, bro. How you
It's
doing
nice
today?
meeting you. Happy New Year.
Same to you, bro.
Happy New Month. Maybe Happy New Money, because we're about making some new money.
Definitely. Happy New Year to my people in Delta State.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here again to talk about money, because if we're being honest, money makes the world go round, right?
Sure.
Without money, you cannot eat, you cannot really do anything. But with money, your life is easier. Everybody's smiling, right? So let's come together, learn about money, and make our life a lot easier, better, more productive as Deltas in 2026.
I mean, talking about money, we have a lot of Nigerians who are living below the poverty lane. And this is a very, very big conversation on social media. We've had government coming and they went out, but it's as if Nigerians are still the same. But let me ask you, does it concern you that many Nigerians cannot afford their basic needs? And what do you think is the problem?
First, it's a deeply concerning issue, not just to me, but to all Nigerians in Nigeria and diaspora. Because it's a situation whereby more than 120 million Nigerians are in abject, multi-dimensional poverty. That will not be just say they cannot eat. No, they don't have where to stay. They literally live on the streets, live in shacks around the country. So yes, we have a major problem with poverty. And for us to come out of this problem as a people, right, it has to be a mixture of what? Us as citizens as well as the government. The government in the sense that they have to make enabling environment for Nigerians to do better. One, you look at prices of goods and services. If the prices of goods and services are stable, Nigerians can what? Can plan ahead. Business owners can what? Can order without fear. Another situation again is the dollar situation. Right when the dollar is always fluctuating. A situation whereby the dollar price goes down is better for Nigerians. Why? Because the fuel price goes down. And if fuel price goes down, the price of everything in the country goes down, transportation goes down, food goes down, and it is very, very important for those things to be in a considerable level that would allow those people among us, not the ones that have Lexuses and Benzes, no, the ones that among us that do not have as much, to be able to what? To survive and then think of how to thrive. Because person need to chop first before we start think of how to do business now, right? But then as Nigerian citizens too, we also have a situation whereby majority of us do not have the right knowledge or know-how to manage money. So we see situations whereby people make money for the first time, they can't keep it. They make money for the second time, they still cannot keep it. And at the end of the day, this money they make is enough to not just take them out of poverty, but take their family, their generation, and their community out of poverty. Because think about it, one Dangote is able to build one refinery, right? Imagine we have 20 other people as Dangotes in Delta State. That is 20 different industries that will be springing up with enough job opportunities for other Nigerians, other them to work. So what are you doing? One person is able to provide job for over 20,000 people just because of what? Foresight, better understanding of how the world works, and most importantly, financial literacy that allows them save, invest, and then spread out.
All right, I mean, you make mention of saving. I'm an advocate of saving, but at the same time, we live in a country where people cannot even save because of what is coming in. Imagine as a worker, I'm receiving the least 150k for a month, and I have maybe like 2 kids, my newly wedded wife, the family members, everybody is on me. How do you expect me to save at the same time to plan for a future that is not even certain?
Okay, in those situations, Nigerians are expected to, first of all, understand where you are at, right? You are not among the richest Nigerians yet. You are still very low on the pecking order. So there are 2 things you can do. One, you can try your best to have a budget every month, right? First of all, understand how much is your house rent, how much is needed for feeding, how much is needed for transportation, how much is needed for clothing, for school fees of your kids. Those are the important things that you need as a man, as a family to survive. I'm not even talking about the wants now. I'm talking about those going out, burgers, or those extracurricular activities. I'm talking about needs. Once you understand how much you need every single month to survive, it is easier now to plan. Now you're no longer caught off guard. Yes, you might not have the best of the best amenities at that point, but if you can condition yourself at that point to save, even if it's a little, even if it's just 20 or 30,000 naira, you are able to save every month in those situations. then at the end of the day, try to come with your wife, find a situation whereby she can also find something that she's doing too, that can also add an income to the family. That would what? That would increase your spending power, increase the income, increase how much that you can actually what? Save, and then over time invest. Because if you don't save and invest, you will continue to stay in that spot forever and ever. Now, only person when save and invest, now they make the real money. You have to save and invest with a long-term focus, because a lot of people are looking at those get-rich-quick schemes, those opportunities that are mostly unconventional, that are mostly Ponzi's, high-risk investment. Please avoid those things. They are never the answer when you are looking into moving from a low-income situation or low-income household to mid-income and then high income. It's what? It's about saving, it's about investing, it's about understanding your budget, and then trying your best to scale up.
How do I budget? I mean, you made mention of the dollar.
Yes.
The dollar is today. The dollar is up. Today the dollar is down. But this does not even show in our everyday activities. You go to the market, prices are the same. So how do you save? How do you plan? Looking at the circumstances around us planning and saving for a future.
If we're being honest, the prices of goods and services in the market generally tend to go up over time, right? So it's called inflation. And normally it is supposed to be a slow but steady rise. In the US, it's just 2% inflation, right? And that is why prices of things continue to look that they are going steady, although the price is increasing by a little fraction every year, right? But in Nigeria, the inflation rate is very high. Recently, the inflation rate was capped around 15%, but in years before, this in 2023, 2024, the inflation rate was as high as 30%. That is why you would go somewhere today and the price is 300, you go there in 3 months and the price has gone to 400-500 naira, due to the fact that what inflation was a problem. But now we've seen that the dollar has been stabilized to a particular level, right, which allows Nigerians to plan better. So now let's use the opportunity that we have today with a more stable dollar, with a more stable economy, to plan better and make better financial decisions. With budgeting, what I always advise for people starting is the 40-30-20 rule.
What's that?
Right? It's a situation whereby you are saving a portion, you are spreading out your money in a way whereby it covers 3 different targets: your needs, your wants, and then your investment or savings. So with this, 50% of your money is a 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your money goes into your needs. If you make 150, 75k first goes into the needs, which is feeding, house rent, transportation, right? Clothing, so that your family no go suffer, right? Then 30% goes to wants. Wants meaning you want to do DSTV, you want to use generator in your house for 4, right? In case there's no light, you want to go out to your family. 30% of your income should go into that. And then the remaining 20% should go into what? Savings and investment. So no matter what happens, your family has something to fall back on. In case something happens like a loss of job, you can actually have something to hold back yourself. Because most Nigerians, they don't even have anything when they lose their job. They go from 100 to 0. This is a way for you to actually protect yourself from actually going to 0 whenever you lose your job.
Alright, we're having a conversation with Feji Yeke, your money guy, talking about how Nigerians can have a better life despite a crumbling economy, how we can actually grow as Nigerians. I was on your page this morning and I was just educating myself and also learning a lot of, bunch of boring words: stocks, shares, dividends. Very boring, but life transforming.
Yes.
That is if you understand the game and if you understand the business. But before talking about shares and how people can buy dividends, how people can buy stocks, maybe the step-by-step process, all right? You're always calling out, not like calling the government out, but giving us an insight what a normal society should be like.
Yes.
Having a good job, electricity. I had a segment on my show when I was talking about electricity and the fact that a lot of Nigerians still do not have 24 hours, power supply. So if you are the government, how do you intend to make life better, especially for the younger generations? Let's assume that you are elected as governor. How can you turn around the economy of Delta State, an oil producing state?
Well, Delta State is a very, very peculiar state because it is blessed in oil as well as other natural resources. Apart from oil, we have over 23 other natural resources in Delta State that can actually give us money, give us more prosperity. But so far, you can see that the governor as well as the president have been pumping a lot of money into Delta State, with Delta becoming the highest state collecting FAAC, which is the federal allocation that goes to states, right? Even surpassing other states like Rivers State and even Lagos State, right? But there are a few things that I believe that the government could do better, or if I was in power or in position to advise the governor, we would actually make a better situation for most Nigerians and most Deltans, right? First of all, let's look at electricity. The electricity in Delta State is really, really poor. Even when you look at the electricity in other states, if you look at River State has opportunity whereby there's federal line, there's band A, there's band C, there's band B. And then even when there are situations whereby there is a power grid or national grid faults, because the national grid only collapses every 10 minutes, right? Right? You still have what opportunities to get light. It might not be 18 hours, but it is what? It is stable, it is consistent. With that, businesses can what? Thrive. Because the price of fuel is so high. Today is 750, next tomorrow is 950 naira. So you know it's 1-1. You cannot plan as a business owner, as a small business owner, with those kind of what restrictions, those kind of situations to deal with. It is easier for you to, even if you are paying more for the light, as long as it is steady, you can what? You can plan ahead. You can actually have a business that makes you more money, makes you profitable, right? And even apart from power, let's go out of power, right? Let's look into financial literacy for our younger generations. It's not a bad thing if Nigerian and Delta youths are taught in school about money. We have no explanation, there's no education in our university or in our secondary school system that teaches us about financial literacy, how to save, how to invest, how to be better with money. So a lot of us make money at a young age, right? You see a lot of young boys are driving JLKs, but they don't know what to do with that money.
But is it a bad thing to drive a JLK as a young boy?
I don't think it's a bad thing to drive a nice car as a young boy. But also, after driving that nice car, it's not a situation of you drive nice car today, in 2 years' time, you are trekking. No. I believe in what? Like Gege used to say, I will enjoy today when they are enjoying. In 10 years, I will also enjoy with those that are enjoying in 10 years. Yeah. That is your goal. So you cannot have 20 million, 30 million, and buy 20 million naira. Okay, that is not the right thing to do. Instead, go into something much smaller if you must have a car. And focus on trying to grow that money, right, with legit investment opportunities and businesses that would actually one, make you better. Two, find a way to make sure that most Deltans actually benefit too, because if you open a business today, there are more job opportunities for Deltans. So it helps Nigerians, it helps Deltans grow with a lot more financial literacy in our universities, in our secondary school, right? Lastly, just to put it out there, the US has something they do whereby each US citizen that was born since President Trump came into power gets $1,000 investment at bets. The idea is that when the person is at 18, it will have compounded for years. That would be at least up to $150,000, $180,000. So that
Really?
what happens? They can use that as a startup capital for their life. If we as Deltans can do the same for our kids, for the next generation, imagine what that would do. They put that money in the stock market or in mutual funds or in pension funds, so that the active managers, right, professional managers, manage this money to the best of their ability. At the end of the day, the next generation of Deltans will have something to fall back on without anything. With this, there will not be multidimensional poverty, because those that want to use the money to go to school, they can use it to get education. Those that want to use the money to start businesses, they can use it to start businesses. So now you have a lot of industries coming into the economy. So I think it's a great opportunity if the Delta State government can look into these opportunities that are out there. They are low-hanging fruit that we can just pick out of and make.
All right, thank you very much for advising the governor. I wish the governor is listening to us right now. But let's go about stocks and shares, buying of dividends and all that, because you're an expert in that field. You've educated and still educate. You are still educating people on how to go about things like these step-by-step processes. But recently, Dangote came out and made a statement. I actually saw that statement, and even me myself, I was reading and reading, and I just could not find my way. And I saw a lot of comments. Yeah. People coming out and say, oh, this is how you should do it. I mean, just too many bunch of information out there. But how do we go about this? Because Dangote came out and said, in a few months from now, Nigerians can actually buy shares from the Dangote refinery.
Yes.
Is it good news? Is it something we should be worried about? Is it something the common man listening to us right now can actually benefit from?
This is a monumental project that is currently holding the Nigerian economy. Because the reason why, yes, there have been an increase in fuel price, but it has not been as high, especially during this war in Iran. Currently, is due to the Dangote refinery, because currently it meets more than half of our daily consumption in the country. Right? It's at the verge of meeting our full daily consumption even at this point. This is a 600,000 barrel refinery that gives you, and it is the largest single train refinery in the world currently, right? Not just Africa. This is a refinery that has the potential to help Nigerians retain their investments, because one, he has come out to say that between now and August we should be expecting the refinery to come on the NGX, the IPO. He's saying that he's listing around 5 to 10% of the refinery, and he has also told us that this refinery is currently worth around $20 billion. And then they're going to be paying dividends in dollars if you want. So those people that are abroad, those people that are in Nigeria, those people that want dollar dividends, right? You can get your dividends in dollar if you want. You can also get it in naira. I feel that this opportunity is there for Nigerians that are looking for long-term investment. I repeat,
so not
long-term
short-term.
investment. No, if you're looking for those ones that want to buy the dip today and sell to, please don't go, because the company is too large for that. If I tell you to do that, I'm lying to you, brother. The best thing for you to do is to look at it as a long-term investment, not a flip.
What do you mean long term? What do you mean? Is it 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now?
No.
By that time, I might be
That's
very
like
old.
right? Not too long. I'm talking about 2 to 5 years.
Alright,
Right?
okay.
I'm talking about 2 to 5 years. But if you look at the last trajectory of the last IPO that happened, which is Aradel, that is doing well right now. Aradel is around 1,200 naira per share. It's IPO'd at 770 naira per share, and then fell in the first year to around 400 naira per share. Those that invested at IPO, they lost money because they were looking at flips, trying to quickly invest and get money out of the market. And that's the wrong way to do it. Those people like me that saw what happened, what did we do? We started buying at 500, as it fell to 400, we even bought more. So now that it is at 1.2, we are up over 120%.
You mean 1,200?
Yes.
Wow. As
So
soon as that money.
Yes, so
Wow.
you understand, it went from 400 naira per share to 1,200 naira per share.
Wow.
It's one of the biggest, Ardell Oil is one of the biggest oil and gas companies. Their only real competitor is Seplat. You know, Seplat is owned by Tony Elumelu. We just bought it in December now. Ardell is their only main competitor. At the moment, they produce crude oil. They literally explore and refine crude oil. So at the end of the day, they are one of the big winners also of this current war in Iran, right? Due to the fact that a lot of these Middle Eastern countries are suffering from the Strait of Hamas that was closed down by the Iranian government, so they can't even bring out their crude oil. You know, the Middle
So you
Eastern
mean
crude
some
oil
people are actually making profit from this war?
Yes. Yes, so not just Aradel. Seplat also made money. Seplat has gone from 6,000 naira per share to 9,000 naira per share.
So how can the common man actually take a pinch from this money you are mentioning? Because we want to know, what is stock? What does it mean to buy shares? How can we buy shares? How can we buy stocks?
Stock is simply ownership in a business. Business must be a publicly liable company. It has PLC at the end of it, right? Limited. It has to be in the stock market. Example of businesses you can buy today is Dangote Cement, Dangote Sugar, Boa Cement. You can buy UBA, you can buy Zenith. These are companies that are listed on the Nigerian stock market, right? Apart from just buying them, these companies, you're getting dividends. Dividend is simply a share of the company's profits. For example, Crown FM, for example, makes $200 million. They can decide to say, okay, as shareholders now, Kelvin, Feji, let's come together, let's share 50 million and leave 150 million for the business to run. Wow. That is the dividends. Simple. That's what dividends is. Right? So if you know what you are doing, you'll be able to find really good companies. Now, how do you start? As a normal person, I would always advise that you do research. There's free information on YouTube. You don't have to pay Feji.
I did, and it was boring. I got tired, and I said, no, I'm going to run to Feji. Expert, please break it down for us. Educate us like a 5-year-old baby. That's what I want, man. Just educate us more.
To be fair, right? The market is boring. But you know where real money is made, it's usually boring. It's not really exciting, right? And that's what pushes the common man out of it, out of investing at the end of the day. But we have to be able to let in that boring phase, so we start to try to understand it, right? I've written books, even in Pidgin English. World Code is partly in Nigerian Pidgin as well as English, whereby it explains the stock markets, the bond markets. It explains what ETFs are, ETFs exchange traded funds. It explains mutual funds, treasury bills, FGM bonds, how to start, everything there inside, right? As a worry boy, if you open and read them, get the real knowledge
in Pidgin.
In Pidgin, bro.
Wow,
right?
I have to go check that out.
Definitely, it's called the World Code. Right, you can get the link in my bio, your money guy on Instagram, or Feji, whichever one, right? It's called the World Code. And you can get the physical copy, you can get the PDF version. It allows you to understand in simple terms how the market works, right? Because I will explain right now, but it's not something that they did to explain finish in 5 or 10 minutes. It's something that takes a bit of time, right? So a simple way to do that is to check out my book, or just go on my page. I talk a lot about the market because I'm passionate about it. It's something I've been doing since I was 18, 19 years old. Just then I was just learning about it, right? It's something I'm passionate about. So I make videos very regularly. Sometimes every single day I drop a video or two, or posts threads where I talk about investing, I talk about saving, I talk about how to start, talk about options, right? There are stock options, there are really good apps that are allowing investors to buy and sell shares every single day.
So you can actually sleep and your money just work for you and relax.
Yes. Especially in the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, people have been making a lot of money in the market.
Can you imagine that?
This 6,000
lagging behind, man.
Well, now you are here, so we'll find solution, right? We went from 6,000 naira per share in Seplat to 9,000 in between January and today. That's in 3 months. but I've made over 50%. That is money being made in the market. There are opportunities that are out there. As GTCO went from 19 naira per share to 120 naira per share. Today it's at 119. Zenith Bank went from around 60 naira per share to now it's around 19 naira per share.
But is there a risk involved?
Yes, obviously.
When you buy shares?
Definitely.
Maybe at the end of the day you don't get your profit
No,
back. Or you
it's
don't
not
even
like-
get your money back, or you lost all your money.
Okay.
Or you lose all your money, I need to say.
Except you buy an illiquid stock, which there are some stocks in the market that you can buy but you cannot sell. And this is a call to the NGX to continue to regulate the market better, so that those opportunities and those companies are relegated completely from the market. Right? This is why I always advise that before you start investing in stocks, you should get an expert opinion or advice, so you can weed out those illiquid stocks. But these are usually companies that are low market cap. They are high risk companies. So in the market, there are high risk investments and there are low risk investments. Investment like GTCO, Zenith Bank, the banks mostly are very low risk investments, because what? They're always making money. Whether the economy is doing well or doing poorly, the banks will charge interest, they will make profits, right? Whether whatever is happening with the economy, with the people, the banks are doing well. So those are stable, safe investments you can start with. You can also start with mutual funds. They are very safe. You can start with treasury bill. Although the returns are low, just around 14%, but it's something you can start with and over time grow.
How much can you really start? Let's assume that you want to start investing in shares and buying stocks. How much would you advise for a beginner to start with?
It depends on your earning power, right? At the beginning, I would say start small. Don't go and put all your money inside, right? Start small so you will learn the ropes. Education, right, is very important. If you don't know what you are doing, if you go and put in 50, 100 million, you will waste it all. The money will loss. People that know what they are doing will take your money.
How can people contact you? Because I wouldn't want a situation where I'll be the one enjoying myself and learning a lot from you. I would also want my listeners, my family members, to also follow you up, contact you, and according to you, they need the advice of an expert, and you're an expert in all of this. Maybe your number, your page, your website, how to get your books. Give us a brief information about that and we wrap this up.
Alright, so if you are a Delta or a Nigerian and you want to get more information about me, you can simply on Google, fetch EK, or on Instagram, YOUR_money guy, or simply search Feji EK also on Instagram. You can also go on Twitter and search EK Feji, IYEKEFEJIYNG on Twitter. On Facebook, it is EK Feji Mentorship. On TikTok, it is Feji EK or Your Money Guy. Also, you can send us an email at ekfejimentorship@gmail.com, as well as talk to us on WhatsApp at 0815 163 4755. Again, 0815 163 4755. And with that, you will be able to talk to me or talk to my staff, who would explain how the process is, give you more information about the stock market, and guide you on how you can become a better, profitable investor.
All right, let me call the number again: 0815 163 4755. All right, you can follow my personal friend, Your Money Guy, Feji Yeke. The Yeke is spelled as IYEKE.
Yes.
Your last word for Nigerians.
My brothers and sisters, while we complain that the government cannot be doing enough, we also have to do our best to make sure that we are better Nigerians and better investors. So while you're making money, don't just spend it all. Try your best to save some, invest some, so that tomorrow your generation will be happy whenever that is something great with money.
All right, spend some, save some, and make your generations be proud of you. Magneto coming through with if I get money, or if you get money, what are you going to do with your money? Are you going to spend, save, or invest? Keep it up right there.
Mix of music.